Hello, everyone from the internet. We assume all of you are here. Welcome to Don't Get Your Hopes Up, the podcast for everyone on the internet, which is all of you that are currently listening. 100% of the internet. My name is Josh Allen, aka Devilore, aka Lore, joined by Mike B, aka Mike B, aka Mike B, aka Mike B.
Yeah, aka Mike B.
Yes. This is the podcast that we do absolutely every single week.
Yep. Without fail.
Yep. So a lot of weeks have happened since last week. So, okay, we both had various vacations. Your vacation took you past me, and then I left again.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
you want to talk about what you were up to?
Yeah, it was it's like 10 days or something, and because it was like 2 weekends, which is great when you compare weekends together like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I went to we basically went to mother-in-law's place, then Disneyland, and then we went to Vegas, and then Vegas, obviously, with family and all that stuff. So basically, we spent a couple days on the Strip, just basically partying and getting plastered and all that shit, doing Vegas-y Strip things that I never did growing up because I always thought it was silly. Why would I waste my time going to the Strip? I live here. And then I went spend time with mom. So we really didn't go anywhere crazy. And also, it was also the least relaxing vacation I've ever had, because I was waking up like 4 hours earlier than I normally do because we had Declan everywhere we went, with the exception of the 2 nights that we spent in at the Cosmopolitan on the Strip. That was where we were finally able to get some sleep, and even then we didn't really sleep that much. I did get a chance to see Love, though. You know what that is?
I think so.
It's a Cirque show.
Yeah.
Centering around the Beatles.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I heard of that.
It was pretty cool. I've never actually seen a Cirque show, so I don't really know how it ranks against others. But as a Beatles fan, like, I thought it was very, very cool how they visualized some of the like a lot of the stuff. And they basically went through all of the different stages of the Beatles, right? From like the first performance on the Ed Sullivan Show, and then through Sgt. Pepper. So basically from like Apple Recordings, Abbey Road. They basically went through like all the different phases of the Beatles, the different generations of the Beatles, and then they kind of covered it all visually, and it was actually very, very cool. Have you ever seen any Cirque show before?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, it's basically just like they do like all kinds of acrobatics, and you find a little bit of everything, like the things that you would see at like a circus, right? Like, juggling and all that, and then you also get like standard acrobatics, like people like bungeeing and like flying across the arena and all that. And then they brought out these 2 like half pipes, and I was like, are they gonna fucking skate this bitch? And sure enough, man, they come out and they're fucking skating, and they were doing some like real dangerous shit on there, and they were rollerblading back and forth, but they were on the thinnest ramp. It must have been like 5 feet in width, and they were like going down like against each other in pairs. So they're passing each other on this ramp that was like 5 feet in width, and then doing like a cartwheel and shit at the top. It was really, really cool.
Wow.
Yeah, so definitely a cool show. I think if you're into the Beatles, I probably wouldn't just go see it if I wasn't like, if there's like a Celine Dion Cirque du Soleil show, I probably wouldn't give any fucks about that at all. I'd never go see it, but yeah, it was a lot of fun. And then we came back and decompressed for like a week.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice. Well, I went to the UK, which is a place I've been to a few times now.
Yeah.
But we were over there for Liv and I were over there for a friend's wedding, and we just decided, like, going to the UK for a weekend for a wedding is like one of the worst possible things that you could do. So we just took a week off and did basically the same thing, the two weekends thing. If you go over there for just one weekend, then the jet lag, you're just jet lagged the entire time and falling asleep at 6 p.m. and yeah, it's awful. So yeah, we went over there and we were just sort of kicking around London for a few days. Went to an air show, which is cool. Like her family is all very, very involved in air shows. So we went to one that
like her whole family is like a pilot, right? Or like pilots or something, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So it's like a lot of like really, really cool like World War I, World War II era planes. And a couple of early jets as well, which was cool. Saw them doing like displays and stuff. Nice. That was really, really fun. Went to a bunch of museums around London, which was cool. We went and saw the Churchill War Rooms, which are like the actual rooms that were underground in London that Churchill and his cabinet were hanging out in during the Blitz during World War II.
Oh wow, nice.
Yeah, it's actually it's really cool. There's one point where they're sort of showing you you go into this room and it's literally left like exactly as when they left it. They just sort of went, all right, we're done, walked out of the room, closed the door, turned off the light, and just didn't come back ever.
We don't need this room anymore, so we're good.
Exactly, yeah. Like they didn't know if they would have to be back later, so it was literally like, you know how like when you leave your house, you don't go, all right, let me put literally everything in my house away just in case this is the last time that I come to my house. That was not the thought. It was just, we're going to leave for today. And then they left and they shut off the lights. And then they were like, guess we don't need to go back. Cool. So they literally just left it exactly like that was. And so the museum is exactly how that was. Like they just left it completely alone. They were like, this is like, I mean, they dusted it and stuff, obviously, but it was kind of cool seeing like, this is what the room was like the last day that it was used.
That's awesome. And do they have everything like roped off when you go in there, so you can't like?
Yeah. That whole room is like behind glass, basically at this point.
Oh, okay.
This is a bunch of other stuff that's just roped off. It was really cool actually. Yeah, really, really interesting. Nice. Went to a couple other museums that are around there. Went to a museum. It's called the Wellcome Collection. It's spelled with 2 L's because it's named after a person whose last name was Welcome.
All right.
And they have this like they have this section of it that's specifically designed to make me want to scream. Like I don't do well with stuff that's focused on like bleeding and drawing blood and basically anything blood related. For whatever reason, I have a problem with that. I think it's like a mild form of hemophobia or something.
Right. Interesting.
And so we walk in there in the first display, and I'm like listening to this audio companion that they give you, so you can get an explanation tour going on. And they're like, this is a chair made out of swords that people would sit on because they would bleed themselves and make them to try and make themselves feel bad. I'm like, like no, I can't. But it was a whole bunch of like actually really cool like collected stuff that this guy had found, so that was fun. Went and I bought a tweed jacket, which is cool. So I wear tweed jackets now. Actually ended up spending like $600 worth of pounds on so like 400 500 pounds.
$600 worth of pounds. Just that phrase alone is so great.
Yeah.
When you don't know the conversion and it's a foreign currency to you, it's like, yeah, I got like $600 worth of pounds worth of this shirt or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I ended up spending a whole bunch of money on just various menswear. I bought a waistcoat because sure.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, what else we do? Kicked around London a bunch, ate a whole bunch of Nando's, ate a whole bunch of English curries. It was good. Really, really nice. Relaxing.
Sounds like a vacation without a kid.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, one of the biggest reasons that I will... God damn it. Yeah, there we go. One of the biggest reasons that I will probably never reproduce is because then I wouldn't be able to take vacations as effectively.
Aw.
There's a point where it's like the reward of raising a child versus the reward of not having to raise a child. But yeah, that was the vacation I went on.
Nice.
And while we were on vacation, literally everything happened.
I guess so, huh?
A whole bunch of stuff happened. So I'm just going to pick one at random. Cuphead came out.
Yeah.
Which has been controversial.
Has it? Controversial?
Well, the difficulty of the game has been really controversial. I've seen a lot of people saying it's too hard for what it is. A lot of people saying, no, shut up. It's supposed to be really hard. I saw an interesting argument from somebody else at Blizzard on Twitter earlier. I think it was yesterday, where they were talking about the problem is that the art style makes it feel super inviting, and then you play it, and it's just, I want to be the Boshi with nice art style on it.
Oh, no, not even. Wait, you didn't see that quote anywhere, did you?
What quote?
The I want to be the Boshi. Was that a quote, or did you just make that up?
That was something that someone said.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. I don't expect that it means that it's actually as difficult as that.
No, I know. I put I want to be the Boshi in kind of its own category of platformers that don't teach you anything through gameplay. It teaches you everything through failure, right?
Right. Yeah.
Because it's completely unfair. I'm gonna hit this block because I've hit 15 blocks before. Oh, this one has razor blades in it. Oh, I'm dead. Like it doesn't actually teach you anything. It just through
trial
gameplay.
and error. Yeah.
Yeah. And Cuphead, yeah, there are some moments where you're like, oh god, what do I do? What do I do? But then as you learn the general mechanics and what to look for, like, slapping the pink things or when the boss blinks, that means you're doing damage, like once you start picking up all these things, then that's a learned thing, and so when you go forward, you could clear through like maybe a phase, or if you're lucky, a phase or a phase and a half, but you're learning through gameplay. It's not just like it comes out and just boom, just punches you in the dick like every single time, and it's like, oh well, you shouldn't be standing there, like it's not like that. I played it to completion, and I did find it really good. I then went back. I found it really, really challenging. It was definitely challenging for sure. There were some bosses that were just really fucking hard. Especially the last two bosses are just fucking dicks. I mean, the last boss is actually not that big of a dick, but the second to last boss is the biggest. Like all the dicks in the game in one is the second to last boss. But there is an easy mode. And I went back, I think during the Indie for Breakfast, I think I fired it up when I tried an easy mode. No. It was when Declan was like, oh, play that game because, like you said, it looks super inviting, right?
Yeah.
And he was just like, oh, it looks like Mickey Mouse. And I was like, oh, fuck, you want me to play this thing? And so I played it on easy. And on easy, you don't even get the last phase of some bosses. And then like some of the mechanics are just flat out gone. Like they're just not there because it's supposed to be easier. I feel like on the easy setting, people should be able to complete it perfectly fine, easily. But I don't believe you can actually beat the game because there's only regular mode on the last two bosses. So that would be like, I guess, like the skill the skill brick wall that people would end up hitting right there. But there's still a lot of really, really beautiful and very challenging game before that. Even for people who are not as good at these games on the easier modes, they'll still find challenge there, I'm sure.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I'm curious, how do you feel about the art style in the game? Because I'm not going to lie, it actually really turns me off.
Really?
Yeah. I don't really know why.
Uh-huh.
I just kind of like, I don't know, I think I actually find that old style, like, the sort of old style cartoons is sort of what it's going for, where literally everything on the screen is moving like all of the time. And I don't know, I've always really hated that. I don't know why, it just bothers me. Like when you're watching a cartoon and someone's like watering the plants, and now the plants have to do a little dance because, hey, look, we've just figured out animation as a species, and so we need to show everybody that we can animate things.
Everything has to be animated.
Yeah,
that's so funny. I never thought of it like that.
Yeah.
It is a very cohesive art style. I could say that. What I like, it's funny because what I like is the creativity that goes into how many different things move and how many different things, like how creative some of these fucking things are. Like there's a fight where you're fighting a bird or of some sort, and there are these little like parakeets with like rubber bands around their heads and needles, and they just come flying slowly across the screen. And they're just just happy little parakeets or whatever, just little fat yellow birds, just like doo tweet tweet tweet, and they have fucking needles rubber banded to their heads. There's a lot of there's actually, I think, probably no repeat animations or mobs. I'm fairly certain there is practically no repeats. So every time you see a mob, you're probably never going to see that mob again. Yeah, there's definitely an appreciation for how much work went into it. And I actually think it's funny that what bothers you is actually what intrigues me about it.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely intrigues me at first. Like when I first saw it, I was like, this actually seems really cool. It's cool that they're going for a different art style like this. But then when I watch gameplay videos, I don't know, I guess it doesn't do quite as much of the constant moving as I would worry it would. But it definitely is a sort of like it's an art style that I'm just not hugely, as it turns out, not a huge fan of personally. Yeah. I'll probably still pick it up and give it a try and play it because the gameplay sounds super interesting to me. But yeah, I don't know. I actually found the art style to be kind of a turnoff for me.
That's kind of funny. Yeah, I'm actually curious now because of that game's popularity, like because of Cuphead's popularity. I wonder if we'll get like some kind of, Looney Tunes era or something. Because this Cuphead is like Steamboat Willie, right? Colorized. Yeah. And so like moving up, like, I mean, think about like gamings, we have like 8-bit, 16-bit, right? We have like Mario 1 versus, Mario Land versus Mario Galaxy, and I wonder if we're going to get, Cuphead, and then we're going to get, maybe late Looney Tunes, and then we'll get Animaniacs, and then we'll get Teen Hunger Force or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
SpongeBob. Like those are the art styles we're gonna be getting.
I saw a really funny like fan art mashup thing that was Cuphead as Master Shake, which was really funny, from Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Yeah, I don't know. It seems interesting. I'll probably pick it up. I know Olivia was playing it and said that I would probably really like it, so I'll
really?
still probably pick it up.
Okay.
Yeah, but I definitely have to say that the old-timey art style is not one that, for me personally, is really doing anything.
Yeah.
Speaking of platformers, we didn't have this one on the list, but I want to talk about it anyway. A platformer that I have been playing quite a bit of lately is Metroid: Samus Returns, the new one for the 3DS.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, and you've had the perfect like setup to do that too. Like on a plane for like 40 hours or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. It's really good. It's really good. It's a little bit there's a couple of mechanics that are a little bit unusual for a Metroid game. The biggest one of which would be the parry mechanic. Like they've added a almost Dark Souls sort of like if you parry right as something attacks you, then you basically just get to kill it sort of mechanic to it. And they play that into the boss fights as well, where like you parry the boss at the right time, then you actually go through a little cutscene where you get to just mash your missile button or whatever constantly and do a whole ton of damage. And it feels very, very foreign and strange and weird. to someone who's played a lot of Metroid. But once you sort of get the hang of it, the game is actually really good. I really, really like it. A lot of people compare it to AM2R because it's another remake of Metroid 2. There's actually a really interesting video I saw. I don't remember what it was from. Maybe Kotaku, where someone was going through and just explaining like, okay, this is what Metroid 2 was all about on the Game Boy ages ago. This is what AM2R did with that game. And it's interesting because both games had to sort of go in and say, okay, this is an original Game Boy game, Metroid 2. Back in the days when you released sequels to your game on a handheld console, instead of like spin-offs.
Yeah.
Well, and it like Metroid 2 in particular is actually a really, really important game for the series, in terms of the storyline and the canon of the actual games, because that's kind of where like the original Metroid or the Zero Mission, the remake that was on the GBA, is kind of like, yeah, Samus just went and did a thing. Cool. Metroid 2 is where like you go to the planet SR388 for the first time, which ends up factoring in quite dramatically to future games. The end of Metroid 2 leads almost directly into the beginning of Super Metroid, and then it's called back to in pretty heavily in Metroid Fusion as well. Like, it's an important game for the series. It's just one that almost no one had ever played because it was on the original Game Boy, and even playing it on an emulator. Like, do you want to play original Game Boy games on an emulator? No, they have not held up very well.
No, they don't do well at all.
Yeah. So what's interesting is that AM2R and Metroid Zero Mission, or excuse me, Metroid Samus Returns, they both just basically went, right, okay, let's take the general idea of what this game was, and we'll convert that into a new game, basically. Even AM2R is basically a new game. And it was a really cool video I saw. I don't remember where I saw it, which is unfortunate, but it does a lot of comparing and contrasting between the two. And then comes to some really weird conclusions about how neither game got it right because they needed to make the screen size tiny or something to make it. I don't know. It was a weird point.
Yeah.
The point that the guy was making was because the Game Boy had such a tiny screen size, in Metroid 2, when you play it on the Game Boy, you're constantly like afraid because you can't see anything around you. And so AM2R and Samus Returns don't have that fear because they're created in more modern ways and you can see the things that are around you. So it was kind of a weird point, but it does a good job of comparing and contrasting a lot of the, like, in this area, here's what I keep calling it Zero Mission. Here's what Samus Returns did. Here's what AM2R did. It's also interesting because AM2R was given a cease and desist, as it was a complete fan game, which, by the way, are totally illegal and you should not make them.
But people continue to do it. Oh, here's Mario. Was it Mario 64 online that somebody made?
Yeah, like all sorts of stuff. And then it got a cease and desist with threat of legal action, so they pulled it down, and it's actually like, I'm sure you could find AM2R if you wanted, but it's not being distributed by the original creators anymore. And it's interesting because at the time everyone was like, well, if you're going to shut this down, why don't you make your own remake, Nintendo? And so they did.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was already in development at the time. In fact, I'm sure that's why
they shut it down.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing, really, that a lot of people don't really realize is, like, if Nintendo allowed, in this case, if Nintendo allowed AM2R to exist, then that's basically saying, yes, everyone, it's okay if you just go ahead and remake our games as you see fit, which then removes the ability for Nintendo to really have their own control over their own copyright in that way.
Yeah.
So oftentimes it's a case of, okay, yeah, maybe it was fine if this random dude used some Super Metroid sprites to create his own game. Maybe that technically wouldn't bother anybody, but they do have to go in and make sure that, no, actually, we do need to protect our IP like that. I don't know. It's interesting to me largely because it's something that comes up in my line of work a lot.
Yeah, especially with the vanilla servers, I'm sure.
Yeah, like that's excuse me. The example I often give is when I'm trying to explain why no, we really do have to try and shut those things down. And again, not a lawyer. I don't have full understanding of exactly how the laws work, but from what I understand, it's less of a concern of these random 50 people are playing on a thing and more of a concern of, okay, so if we allow this, what happens when someone like Riot Games later decides that they want to do the same thing, and now we can't say no, it's not okay when Riot does it, but it is okay when these people do it, and it's just a giant mess.
Yeah. Excuse me.
So that's the end of that complete ramble. I'm still pretty jet lagged, by the way. I should mention that. I'm actually very tired right now.
No, it's fine. You're doing great. Just do the rest of the show for me, and we're set.
Would you like to spend the next 2 hours attempting to craft a potion that does nothing?
Are you mad about this?
I'm not actually. It was just one of those like, Jesus, this is D&D at its finest.
It was so good.
Yeah, yesterday's session where it was like, okay, this is one of the sessions where the DM has a rough idea of several things that the party could be doing, and the party spends the entire time dicking around with one thing. Like, I seriously, when you guys were, when Brayborn was talking to the Prophet, he just kept being like, anything else? I was like, just making random shit up. And I was like, oh yeah, I guess there's a tournament going on, whatever. And you guys just fixated on something that I had put 3 seconds of thought into. And I was like, fuck, now I have to make that an actual thing.
Wait, which tournament was the triathlon or whatever?
Oh, that's right. You weren't there for that session.
I wasn't here. Yeah.
Yeah. So they, while you were sitting in the boat, they decided to go talk to the Prophet because they'd been told to not go talk to the Prophet. So of course, that's immediately what they went and did.
Right.
And they sent Brayborn in to talk to him because he has the spell that disguises him. And he was talking to the Prophet. He was like, so what can you tell us about what's going on? And the Prophet gave him like the actual thing that was important, which I don't remember now at this point. I think it was the location of the guy that they're chasing down. Excuse me. And then Brayborn was just like, anything else? And I'm like, I guess I'll just make up some random things. He's like, anything else? I'm like, okay. And then one of them was, there's a tournament going on in town right now. And they're like, oh. And then they left. And they're like, hey, we should check out that tournament so that we could win the prizes. I'm like, fuck.
Hey, we all walk away like 1,000 gold richer at the end of the day. That was great. Yeah, it was 2 hours spent not doing anything. I mean, it was entertaining, of course, but still, we ended up walking away with so much money at the end of the day. We just, oh man, the rolls were on our side for sure. Well, except for me.
Yeah. I mean, you still managed to make it through the joust.
Brute force my way through it.
Yeah.
That was good. I'm loving the D&D thing. I think it's great.
Yeah, it's been really, really fun. What else should we talk about? So this is on here, and I don't actually really know why.
Oh, you're a Samsung guy though, right?
LG at the moment, but I'll probably switch to Samsung.
Okay, so did you follow any of the Pixel 2 announcements at all?
Oh, not really, no.
Okay. Just some of the I guess some of the high level points that stood out to me. They're removing the headphone jack.
Of course. That way they can sell more proprietary equipment.
And then they also happen to have a dongle, just like Apple, that they're selling for $35. Actually, wait, is the dongle they're selling the one that there's one that was linked around that I think came like almost officially, kind of like Apple has like an official dongle that they promote, and it's by Belkin. And if the other one's by Belkin, then I want to know what the fuck, how is Belkin pulling this shit off? How are they influencing the market? Like
Belkin just suddenly creates every single peripheral forever.
Yeah. Yeah, like I guess if you're a company that that is known in a lot of cases for peripherals and especially cables, printer cables from the mid 2000s that everyone spent $25 on each. And you see your business going away because of wireless, then why not? Why not like push companies to have to adopt your shitty dongle? Man,
Yeah,
Falcon runs everything.
they do.
What's your stock look like? Hold on a second. Falcon stock. Let me see. Wait, what? Nothing?
Are they not publicly traded somehow? There's no way.
There's no way. Fucking NASDAQ. Yeah, nothing.
It's Belkin is the
That's the parent
keyword
company,
for
isn't
it.
it? Yeah. Weird. Yeah, I'm not pulling anything up, which is really odd.
Yeah. Yeah, me either.
Yahoo Finance is nothing. Yeah, maybe they're fucking private. Holy shit.
Yeah, or maybe they're owned by something else or something. Like Belkin, owned by Maybelline.
They are not.
Weird.
Yeah, it's fucking private. Holy
Wow.
shit.
Well, then Joe Belkin is fucking ranking in the cash.
Yeah, exactly. Holy fuck. That's crazy. All right. Well, today I learned.
Yeah. I did appreciate the Pixel, the headphones that they showed off. The like new Google, basically the Google version of the Apple AirBud or whatever they're called.
Oh yeah, little ear, like little ear plungers.
Yeah, I appreciated that they are connected. They appear to have some sort of wire that connects between them. And B, don't look like you just shoved a fucking cigarette in your ear, which is like whenever I see someone with the Apple things out of the corner of my eye, I'm like, why does that person have a cigarette in there? No, it's those stupid Apple headphones.
Really?
I don't know why I cannot unsee that idea.
You know what it looks like to me? It looks like the regular Apple earphones without the wire. But
Yeah, for some, like, without the wire, my brain does not make that connection. Without the wire, it looks like someone has shoved a cigarette in their ear.
Yeah, no, I saw them. They look like little discs, like you stuff cotton in your ear or something like that. Like it's just a little round thing.
Yeah. Alas.
And the other thing that I thought was interesting was the what's it called? The camera rating was really good. Like really, really good. And actually I wonder I wonder like there's a score, and I've never heard of this score before. What is it fucking called? Hold on, let me look this up here. Pixel to camera score. It was a word a DxO. Okay, DxO Mark camera score. I've never heard of this, like giving a score to a camera like this, right? So apparently I've seen samples, side by side samples between the 8 Plus, which is what I have, and the Pixel, and the Pixel 2. The sharpness at 100% zoom is a little better than the iPhones, and I already taken a ton of pictures with this thing and pulled them up on the computer, and they look fucking phenomenal. So the fact that this thing edges it out is pretty fucking awesome. And a little upsetting because I was like, yeah, man, the fucking iPhone 8 Plus got a freaking great, like a super awesome camera. And it was one of my main reasons for ditching the my 6 Plus for this. And then immediately Google's like, yeah, but we did a little better. The camera side, sorry.
That's funny.
You know the fucking, and I'm sure the Pixel 2 will also, but you can shoot at 4K 60. Does yours do that? Your LG?
Probably not. No.
That's insane.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I I took some video and I'm just fucking floored. I mean, as a Canon owner, I'm infuriated because Canon, and I'm sure if you're a Nikon owner, you'll be pissed about this too. But it is seriously, like, by far, with all of the equipment that I have here in the house, it is by far the best video camera that I own. And it just fucking blows my mind. I was just in the backyard just taking video, and then I pull it up on the. I don't even have a 4K monitor, right? So it's like it's useless to me. But I pull it up on here, and it's just like wow, like, and then it's 60 FPS. So I actually take it and slow it down, and get that smooth, slow, ultra crisp 4K. You know, like it just floors me that we're at that point now where we get that much power out of video in our pockets.
Yeah, it's we're starting to get there where 4K, which we've been talking about for like 3 years, might actually be something that becomes widespread.
Yeah. Yep.
But the real reason that I'm not interested in getting a Pixel 2 is the problem that all of the Pixel all of the Pixel phones have had, which is the same problem that my LG phone has currently, which is that it's not a Samsung, so nobody compatibility tests for it. Like
nobody really?
Yeah. So here's the problem with Android development is when you want to test your Android product, especially if it's a product that was developed for iPhone or for iOS, and then you move it over to Android, or at least developed first on iOS, which most of them are because the way that Apple's verification works versus the way that Android's verification works, Apple is much more stringent. So it makes sense to develop your app natively on iOS and then port it to Android instead of going the other way around.
Okay.
And so everyone develops their app on iOS, which is why everything just works on iOS. And then they port it to Android, and when you port it to Android, what you want to test it on is the most common Android phone, because there's so many of them, right? You want to test it on the most popular, most common Android phone, and that is the Samsung. It's the Galaxy, currently the S8. And so you test it on that, and you don't test it on anything else. And Android has a fragmentation problem, which even includes the Pixel. Even though you would think, well, no, it'll be fine. Oftentimes what happens is Samsung has done something to fix something that was it was wrong with Android as base. And it's just, you didn't test it. And you didn't test it on this other phone because, well, it's not the most popular one, and you don't want to have to spend $5,000 on various Android phones to test your app. So like I will commonly have issues with apps that just don't work quite right on my LG that work perfectly fine on Liv's S8. And so yeah, that's the biggest reason that I'm probably going to end up dumping the LG and going for a Samsung phone.
Huh. But no interest at all in Pixel. Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah. The other problem is, historically at least, they haven't really made them very available. I think the last Pixel was exclusive to Verizon, which I'm not on. Sorry, I don't know if they're planning on making this one more available. And all the Nexus phones previously, you just had to buy one out. Like, I think eventually carriers started picking them up, and you could you could subsidize the cost of it. But for the most part, it was, do you want this phone? Then you have to buy it out. You have to drop the $600-$700 right now.
Right.
And I have T-Mobile, and the way that they do their subsidizing, it's the same price. So it's like, would I rather, like, if I have to spend this $700, would I rather spend all 700 of it right now, or would I rather spend 300 of it right now and then 400 of it monthly over the next year? And the second one just makes a lot more sense to me.
Yeah.
Because it's less of an immediate hit. And it also comes with other advantages of, if I decide I don't like this, then I give it back.
Yeah. That's actually where I'm sitting now with the Apple monthly thing or whatever. It's like, yeah, I could trade up or down at the end of the year. So if they come out with a What is it? The SE, I think, the SE, which is
Yeah.
that is like all the good guts inside of the old iPhone. I'm totally down for that. So I will definitely back off and get that next year if anything. But I had a Droid X like early on, and I also had the G1, the first Google Android phone. And I remember the update system being really shit then, but like you said, they've cleaned that up a little bit, right?
Yeah, nowadays the updates are super smooth. It's actually, I find Android update, because I had an iPad mini for a while until the iOS update broke it. I find Android updates to be more palatable than iOS updates these days, because I generally can assume that it's not going to break my my device.
Huh. That's funny. Yeah, no,
like that's actually kind of a problem that iOS has with updates, I think, is because they fine-tune the iOS to the hardware so dramatically. Putting an OS on it that is above what the hardware is capable of basically means that the whole thing goes to shit.
Well, no, they lock you out after a certain point.
Yeah,
I have 2 Gen 1 iPads, a bunch of iPad minis, because there was a while there that work was buying them, right? And now they're just like collecting fucking dust. But like the Gen 1s, I think I'm locked to like 5. And then even my oldest iPad outside of the Gen 1, iPad mini, I think, it is locked to 6 or something. So yeah, they lock you out at a certain point. I haven't bricked any of them yet.
I have a Gen 1 iPad mini, and I was able to update it to 8. Just stock. It just popped up and said, "Would you like iOS 8?" I didn't jailbreak it or anything.
Right.
And I put iOS 8 on it, and then it ran like shit.
Yeah, that's definitely a problem. That they'll put, you get an update and then it's just like, oh well, now it runs like garbage. And they're really fucking pushy with their updates. Oh god, like I hate every time there's an update for iOS, it pops up and it says, "Hey, you have an update. We're gonna install it between 2 and 6 in the morning when you're not using your phone. Enter in your code, or is that okay?" Whatever. And I say cancel, no. And it's like, okay, we'll just remind you and just do it anyways between 2 and 6 a.m. And then it says like enter in your code. Like it wants me to like promise you're gonna do it, and they say remind me later, and then just fucking leave me alone. But they'll keep on fucking telling you, and it's every morning too. So when you like roll out of bed and you grab your phone, so you can check your phone before you do anything with your day. That's like, I unlock the phone and it's all like, "Hey,
good morning, sleepyhead."
Dicks. They try to catch you when you're like off guard. Yeah, fine, whatever, install whatever. Oh no.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah. I don't remember why we got on that topic, but
I don't even know.
Phones, man. Fuck them.
Yep. Yeah, fuck them.
Yeah. So Fortnite.
Yeah.
Fortnite came out with a battle royale mode. Which I think means that they listen to the show. Because if you remember, a while back I said, I think this game would be really fun if they just removed most of it. So
I want to find the exact quote, so you keep going. I'll try to find the exact quote.
They just removed most of it. Like,
holy shit, Fortnite is overworked. I don't even want to learn what all these systems are. That sounds about accurate to what I've heard.
Yeah, it's like, I've ranted about it on the show before as well, but it's one of those games that it frustrates me because it's so good except for when it's complete shit. Like, this is really engaging gameplay. The art style is really, really engaging. I want to like this game so bad, but I also really don't want to bother doing all of the shit that's going to make me like this game.
I don't have to work to like the game. I want to just like it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like somebody goes, "Hey, here's a cupcake," and you're like, "Ooh, yeah, cupcake," and then like, but you got to run a 10K before you can have this cupcake. It's like,
I don't want the cupcake anymore.
I like cupcakes so much. I want the cupcake, but god damn, off the couch? What are you talking about? I don't know what that means. But yeah, the Battle Royale mode. I haven't actually checked it out yet, but I've been watching some people play it because like a lot of the PUBG streamers have picked it up. It's missing a few important features at the moment, unless they've updated it since the last time I looked. But like not having the ability to queue with a friend is currently causing a massive amount of issues. Well, I say massive amount, a fair amount of issues. Because it's also pretty easy to get queued into the same game, so people end up teaming like crazy, and they've had to be like, no, teaming is bannable, but like it's fucking early access. How many people are they really gonna ban? Unless you're like a top streamer or something.
Yeah, exactly that. Maybe make an example out of you, and also get ourselves a whole lot of publicity.
Yeah, exactly. But it looks moderately interesting. I don't know how I feel about the idea of putting the building aspect into it, because it just kind of seems like when everywhere is cover, then nowhere is dangerous, if that makes sense.
Uh-huh.
But I don't know, maybe there's something about it that makes that not the case.
Yeah,
I've definitely seen, like, I was watching Sacriel just basically get jumped by somebody, and he just real quick turned and put up a wall, and the guy was shooting the wall, and so Sacriel just kept backing away, putting up new walls constantly so the guy could never hit him. It's like, this is actually really a bit ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah. So just a couple of notes here. So duos are in as of today, and it has squads now. So yeah, before your vacation, you're right. It was probably much different.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if that information is inaccurate, chat's fault.
Yep. Damn it, chat. But yeah, it seems really, really interesting.
It's free too.
Yeah.
Maybe I will try it. Maybe I'll set aside my anti Tencent bullshit and just give it a shot. That way, at least I know I could speak more intelligently about the game. Because I mean, there's like millions of people playing it now, or millions of people have downloaded it, I guess. But it's up there, man. Like, I mean, on Twitch, I mean, what is it right now? Let's see, twitch.com. Let's see, browse. Right now, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It is the sixth in line with 18,000 viewers compared to PlayerUnknown's 57,000. And you'd think it's like, oh, well, that's not even close. It's like, oh, well, actually, for a game that is like the exact same genre, that's pretty fucking good. Like, yeah, I mean, like that's League and Dota are up there.
Yeah, there's sort of it's an interesting thing with similar games that make it into the top 10 on Twitch. Is it's sort of, there's a point where it comes down to like, is Summit playing? You know, like, is Grimm's on right now? Okay, then just add another like 80,000 to what would theoretically be the case.
Well, Grimm's is on right now, and it's only 4,000, so you could probably blame Shroud for that.
Damn it,
Shroud. Let me see. No Shroud. Oh, wow. Where are all these people at?
I mean, there's also just a lot of that's one of the honestly, legitimately, when we're looking at Twitch and looking for like, is this a game that we should be worried about? What we look for is games that show up high on Twitch but don't have like a Summit or Lyric or Dr. Disrespect level streamer playing them at the moment. Like when the top stream, when a game has 80,000 viewers on Twitch and the top streamer has 1,000 viewers, that's when we go, oh shit.
Yeah, no, seriously. And that's the way it should be.
Yeah.
Yeah, even like Cuphead right now. Cuphead has 11,000 viewers, and you open it up and the top person has 1,300. So that's a pretty good distribution. I mean, yeah, that's pretty good.
Yep.
And fucking Golf It is up there. How the fuck? Oh, Gassy, yeah, what the hell?
Usually when you see a random weird ass game in one of the top, guys. Yeah, it's two people, but they're famous streamers for some other reason.
Yeah, totally.
So other people found Fortnite's new Battle Royale mode very interesting. Namely, Bluehole found it very, very interesting. And actually, like, they put out some sort of statement, which was super weird. Let me see if I can actually find it again real quick. It was a really, really weird and also completely like halfway inaccurate thing that they said.
I have part of it here. It says, now PUBG developer Bluehole has issued a response to what it describes as growing concerns about the similarities between two games. We've had an ongoing relationship with Epic Games throughout PUBG's development, as they are the creators of UE4, the engine we licensed for the game. After listening to the growing feedback from our community and reviewing the gameplay for ourselves, we are concerned that Fortnite may be replicating the experience for which PUBG is known.
Yeah, and they said something that was along the lines of like PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, the first battle royale game, or something like that. And everyone on the internet immediately went, "Wait, what? Didn't PlayerUnknown actually make like 2 other battle royale games before this one?"
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So that's really interesting. They kind of went after it, and then they backpedaled a little bit. Like the next day, they put out a follow-up statement. They're like, no, it's not really about the battle royale game mode, despite totally making it about the battle royale game mode. Yeah, it's it was really rambling and weird as well. They were like, oh yeah, but lots of times Chinese companies copy games, so we thought maybe that was this. It's like, well, why would you? It's not a Chinese company. What are you? You're being really weird right now, Bluehole. I honestly wonder how much of this is like they're a Korean company, which means that probably what's happening here is they're saying something in Korean, which is then getting translated into English. And it's really, really easy for us to just completely have the wrong idea of what they were even saying because we're not reading it in the original Korean. We're reading it in English that, like, maybe VP and executive producer Changhan Kim was like, okay, translator intern, take this down, and said something that was completely different.
Thank you. Yeah, right.
And the translator intern was like, okay, on behalf of Bluehole, fuck Epic right in their stupid shit faces.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yeah. No, I got nothing else on that because that happened a few weeks ago, and it was very bizarre. It was absolutely very fucking bizarre. And yeah, we should also mention that Bluehole is the group that was sued back in 2011, I think, or maybe some 2012, for stealing Lineage assets for Lineage 3.
Yeah.
And maybe for the production of Terra. I can't remember how Terra was involved in it, but I just remember that there was like this whole circle of bullshit going on between NCSoft and them.
I think it was literally that they stole Lineage 3 assets and put them in Terra, I think was the actual argument, but I don't remember exactly.
Yeah, something like that. It's been a mini year.
Yeah. Also, speaking of PUBG, and speaking of Bluehole, they've actually spun off their PUBG development team into a different team now, which is called PUBG Corp, which, by the way, that's a shit name. Like, they've created a new subsidiary company to be the development team for PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, and like, the only way that they could have come up with a worse name is if they literally called it a new subsidiary company to be the team that makes PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds. Like, that's if they'd gone with that name for the company, then that might not have been as good as PUBG Corp, which is not as good as literally everything else that they could have named it.
But you know what it is when you say it.
You do in fact know what it is when you say it. I mean, you also know what Dr. Scholl's is when you say it. Like,
that was the best fucking yes. Yeah, wow. I've been fucking roasted, dude. I'm done. That's it. Damn. It's over. God. So yes, they are a subsidiary or a business that focuses on the business outreach for PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. PUBG Corp.
yeah.
And that was announced before or after the other thing? I mean, they do all their business. Yeah, all their business and all that shit. It was after, really? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, this is actually even weirder. Like, looking at this article now, it's actually even weirder than I originally thought it was, which is that it's not the development team. It's basically a biz ops department for the development team.
Yep.
And they just decided it needed to be a different company for some reason.
Yeah, which is
really funny thinking about that, comparing it to Blizzard, where we have like we have a biz ops team for each franchise under one company. So it's
exactly.
6 different biz ops teams in one company. Yeah. This is the opposite. It's like,
there's not WoW
get
Corp.
them out of here. Yeah.
WoW Corp and
WoW Corp.
Diablo Corp.
WoW Corp, which is 5% of the people that work on WoW.
Yeah, it is strange. And I'm actually wondering how it ties into our, if we're ever going to see it tie into our next story.
What is our next story?
That is the well, we didn't talk about the next part of this then. Is the Tencent investment side of it. Oh,
yes. Yeah.
So, and this kind of brings this entire segment like kind of full circle, really.
Yeah.
So Tencent, which is a company that has a holdings company that's basically put money into pretty much every other game. Yeah. Every other game that you own has somehow touched something Tencent related.
And they own like or have holdings in all of the biggest names as well. Like they just last year fully bought out Riot Games. They just own Riot entirely. They have investments into Activision Blizzard. They have investments into Supercell, which is the company that makes Clash of Clans, Clash Royale, those games. They basically always have at least like 3 of the top 10 apps in the gaming store in terms of or in the gaming section of the App Store. They have their own competitor to Steam. They own in most of the gaming industry.
Yeah, you could say that actually, and not really be exaggerating too much.
Yeah.
So they stepped in, and when Tencent comes in, like you could expect that, okay, they're going to give money, or they're going to buy something, or they're going to buy a big chunk of, or they're going to do something, right? Or try to be the hook them up for the publisher as a publisher in China or something. There's always something that's going to happen. So you see Tencent mentioned with whatever your favorite game is, like they're going to get involved somehow. And I'm not surprised that that Tencent has looked into PUBG. You know, PUBG does use the Unreal Engine, which is Epic, which is Tencent. And so yeah, this brings us back to our initial story on this, which was how PUBG was getting upset, and there is all this talk about PlayerUnknown versus Fortnite, and why is Fortnite using this, and why did they make a game exactly that replicates the experience with PUBG, and basically making all this noise. And then I see this. Tencent is looking at possibly getting involved with, or requiring, or whatever, with the PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. Like, oh cool, yeah, just buy them out and tell them to shut the fuck up. Like that sounds about right. Hey kids, stop arguing.
Yeah,
that's how you make a problem go away.
My child is running into a bully at school, so I've adopted the bully.
Yes, exactly.
This will solve the problem. Yeah, it's always interesting when Tencent moves in on a company as well, because like you and I both know from direct experience that they just the way that they tend to do business is for the first like couple of years, they'll just shovel money at you and not ask questions and just do whatever. But after 3 years, they'll be like, okay, hang on. Someone looked at the books. We've put more money into them than we've gotten back for them. All right, send in the troops. And then they just send upon you like crazy, ridiculous vultures or something. And just they tend to move in and be like, all right, take everything apart. Whoever is doing stuff here, you're obviously wrong. Get out. They don't do course correction is the thing. They just it's like, you are no longer making us money. You have been deleted. Goodbye.
Yeah, or the reason for adoption is kind of like, well, all right, it's like I can't speak on any specific thing, but it's like basically being picked up because you're good at doing, one thing, and then they're like, well, if you have those skills, you should be able to build this other thing that's kind of related because it's in the same industry, but it's not at all related because it's a different like pillar of this industry. And it's like, well, you could have just bought another company that specialized in doing the exact thing that you want to do. And then once you don't do that, that's when they like leave you alone. And then you don't hear from them. Then they're like, you know what? We don't know what's going on. Let's kick everybody out.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's how it goes.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see how this continues to play out. It's definitely very strange.
Yeah.
But we'll just have to see. We don't know yet. Can't see the future. Speaking of the future, 2018 sometime is when the Atari box is going to launch.
Oh, dang.
Which is, okay, so a while back, Atari was like, yo, we're getting back into hardware. And everyone was like, okay, Atari, whatever. All right. And now they're saying things that are really scary. So they're calling, they just a couple of weeks ago, just last week, actually, a few days ago, they announced the Atari box, and they came out with some details on it. Not a ton of detail, not enough to really be able to back up. Basically, they came out with a whole bunch of great marketing speech, but nothing to back it up.
Okay.
Which is a sort of thing that I've just become aware of when it's happening much more directly, seeing as how I occasionally have to do it. We'll be like, yeah, no, totally. We'll solve that problem. I have no idea how we're going to solve that problem.
Emergent markets, blah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, really, we want to just disrupt the market and focus on pivoting our millennials
squeeze the millennials
into the cloud.
Now the cloud's a dated one now. You can't get away with that one anymore.
Yeah.
They've gotten savvy.
Yeah, really, we just need to start talking about our top-down exit strategy.
Jesus.
I don't even know what that means. It sounds like something I would say in a meeting.
When you're just like, this will go, and then we're out. Then
yeah. I caught myself yesterday talking about pivoting in a meeting, and I was like, fuck. I'm marketing now, aren't I?
Yeah, you made a comment about your clothes or something.
Yeah. Like wearing a tweed jacket. I was wearing chinos, a tweed jacket, Chuck Taylors earlier. I had my hair in a ponytail, and I was at that moment drinking an iced chai latte, and I was like, fuck. I've gone full marketing.
Yeah.
But the Atari box anyway. So the reason that I'm scared is this specific quote. With Atari box, we wanted to create an open system, a killer product where people can game, stream, and browse with as much freedom as possible. Atari games and content will be available as well as games and content from other providers. We also wanted to launch Atari Box with our community and reward our fans with exclusive early access special editions and include them as active participants in the product rollout. And you could take out the word Atari Box and put the word Ouya in there and get the exact same thing that happened 4 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was a backer of the Ouya. And by the time I got it, it was already like, I think we were like just 2 months away from the Shield being announced, like the Shield Portable.
Yeah.
So it was basically just dead on arrival.
Yeah.
And the way they're talking about doing it plays old games and it plays new games. And honestly, I don't really feel like there's a lot of I don't feel like there's really a whole lot of the market that would be like, oh shit, I could own like all the old Atari games. Hell yeah. Because if you've played any Atari games, you know there's very little depth to like 95% of them. A lot of them are just very on the surface. You know, you might have some difficult games here and there, whatever, but you're not going to get like a Final Fantasy, like a full-fledged story-driven Final Fantasy style experience from, you know, any significant chunk of games coming out of the Atari. It wasn't until the Nintendo came along that it was like, oh, now we have like these long form and games we could kind of invest, RPGs we could invest in. But the Atari, it's like you think Atari and you think, you know, Pac-Man and, you know, asteroids or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not going to be like, yeah, Atari box. Like, people are freaking out about the SNES Classic right now, the SNES Classic. Finally getting their hands on that. And for that one, it's like, oh yeah, I can go back and I can play Star Fox. I can play like Zelda and stuff like that. There really isn't a game like that for Atari.
No.
There isn't like a, man, this game changed my life. Man, as soon as I could turn that triangle around in circles and shoot a period at something that was either an asteroid or popcorn or some sort of like butt plug floating around on my screen and make it into smaller ones. Oh man, the storyline there was just, it gripped me.
They had
this inspired me to become an artist. Like, no.
Yeah, like even their dungeon crawlers we weren't quite ready for that. Like graphically, it wasn't quite there yet. And I'm talking about like the what's it called? Grimoire? Legend of Grimoire? No, damn. The new dungeon crawler series. I can never remember the fucking name. Grimrock, thank you. Yeah, it's kind of like Grimrock, like the original Grimrock, basically. And it was just, they were just not good. Like the heavy pixelation on the depth just looked terrible. Like trying to get a perspective to show it's like, oh yeah, this is a sprawling dungeon, and you can only see one grid in front of you, and the actual perception, like the way the graphics kind of go to a point, looks like shit. It's like a staircase on either side. It doesn't look like anything. we just weren't ready for that. So yeah, even those games, you really couldn't get any significant amount of like replayability or gameplay in general out of them.
Yeah. So like you get to play old Atari games is not really a great draw for me.
Mm-hmm.
And it says it's going to play new games, but here the thing is, the price point on this is between $250 and $300, depending on the final product. And that's actually a huge turnoff for me.
Oh yeah.
And the reason is they're clearly not pricing it to compete with an Xbone or a PS4, which means they're not even trying to get those sorts of titles on this thing, which means that it's not going to be a good enough piece of hardware to run like an Uncharted game or a new Halo or anything like that. Which now means that this is like I might play one or two games on this console sort of game. And I already own a Wii U, so I don't think I need another one of those.
Yeah, it's maybe they're looking at it like, hey, there's a gap in the market, right? Where it's like there's somewhere between the NES Classic, right, or the SNES Classic, and next gen consoles. Like there's a space here that we can occupy, and that's where the price point is sitting.
But that console already exists. It's the Nintendo Switch.
Right. Yeah. Well, maybe they don't see it that way or something. Maybe it's Nintendo and Atari all over again, and maybe that's how they're looking at it. Because they're not going to compete in the Xbox and PS4 space. That's for fucking sure. So maybe they think that they can target that, and that's where their gap is. The problem is that you can go and buy a shitload of Atari games, on like a $20 thing that you plug in to your TV directly, and the entire Atari is inside of the joystick. And that's all you need is just that thing. Like those are sold at like Rite Aid, and you may not get every game that the Atari box is going to give you, but it's not like there's a Nintendo controller thing that you could plug in that's sold in every, like an NES Classic, but sold everywhere. That doesn't really exist, except for the NES Classic and the swap meet. So yeah, like they did sell it as they said that they're going to put make it operate a bit more like a set-top box right now, kind of like an Amazon Fire or an Apple TV where it has apps and such.
Yeah. They also said, well, I was gonna say they also said that it brings a quote unquote a full PC experience to the TV. Yeah. Which is a stupid thing to say when your thing costs $300.
Yeah.
Like there's no way.
Yeah, it's not even close.
Yeah.
It sounds, I mean, it sounds like a money grab to me right now. It sounds like somebody's thinking this is that we're at the period now they could jump in, they can make a lot of money off of the Wii U group, right? The people who remember playing this game and have fond memories of whatever of the console or just the brand itself. And maybe they think they could cash out on this with like a mediocre product, because right now as it just does not seem promising. I mean, if they're going to use it like a set-top box where people can watch Netflix and Hulu or whatever, then that means it's probably have to run Android or something. There's no fucking way they're going to come up with their own OS and have people write apps for it. They're not Nintendo. That's not going to happen. And like you said, the PC experience, like, well, that probably comes with the, like, they're basically selling it as a shield, right? Where you could play games on it because it's Android and that's it.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I every time I start to get a theory about what they're trying to do with this, I read something else and then it kind of disproves that theory. Like, or at least it invalidates that strategy, I guess would be a better way to put it. So specifically what I'm thinking about right now is I was thinking, okay, yeah, they're trying to make it an open system. Maybe they're going after the indie market. Maybe they want to pick up the Stardew Valleys and the what was that platformer you played for 1 million hours recently? Hollow Knight.
Hollow Knight, yeah.
Like maybe that's what they're after, is they want to be able to get those sorts of developers on the system. I was like, okay, yeah, that was kind of what the Ouya was trying to do, and it didn't work out. But then again, the Ouya it had a weird, the hardware was weird, and it was running on Android. And then I read, the console will feature an AMD customized processor with Radeon graphics technology and will run a Linux OS with a user interface customized for the TV. And I'm like, well, there goes that theory. Like, that's not going to work. So what you've done is you've taken the hardest hardware to the hardware with the most compatibility issues. You've put it on the OS with the most compatibility issues, and then you've fucked with it. Good.
Oh man. Yeah, the Julian in chat screaming says Steam OS. That's like exactly what it is. Is it really? Yeah. Is Atari? Is that Steam OS they're gonna be running?
No, it's a Linux OS is.
Yeah, that's all it says. Well, in the article that we have here, even if it is Steam OS, I mean, if it's Steam OS, actually, I would be like, okay, maybe now we'll wait and see what happens. Just because I have such a good experience with, between Big Picture and of course with the Steam Link, and basically like any of the play games outside of your PC, right? Hardware, all that stuff is really, really good to me. So if Steam had anything to do with this, or yes, I know Steam OS is Linux, but that's not okay. Well, we're on a different wavelength here. So yeah, it's maybe if it was like, oh, we're running Steam OS, is like, maybe I'll look at it, but I fucking highly doubt that's it.
Yeah. And the other thing, Jesus, I keep reading things about this that make me even more convinced it's going to be shit.
Oh no.
We've chosen to launch Atari Box with Indiegogo. given their focus on delivering technology products and their strong international presence in over 200 countries. This is them saying, we've chosen to launch Atari Box with Indiegogo because we didn't think that a Kickstarter campaign would be successful.
Yeah.
But not wanting to actually say that. No, I am in skeptical town on this thing. Like, I hope they do well. Like, Atari is one of those brands that, like, when you grew up in the 80s playing video games, Atari is like, that's you, right? Like, that's your identity, man. Them three little lines, the curved little lines. That's like, this is me. Like, the first games I ever played were on the Atari 2600. And so I'm like, yeah, wouldn't it be great if Atari was back again? And then I'm reading this article, I'm like, ugh, maybe it wouldn't be.
Yeah, I mean, I'll buy the shirts.
Yeah.
I feel like if they just kept going that route, like if they had the Atari speaker
the
hat.
weird fucking hat, yes.
Yeah, which we talked about, and you know, it's fucking weird. And if we were talking about the Atari hat without, like, not in the same breath as the Atari box, I might actually be interested in the Atari hat.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you know what? That's kind of a dumb thing, but I wear hats a lot. So maybe that would be kind of nice just to have, you know, when I'm out walking around by myself or something. I don't know.
Just have some music in front of you.
Yeah. But unfortunately, you know,
so you
it
can
came
listen
along
to it with your forehead.
The Atari box, and then, yeah.
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 Yeah. So yeah. And the other thing I was going to say about it is just that if they're going to be at the same price point as the Nintendo Switch, they need to not sound like a Nintendo Switch that you can't pick up and take with you and also doesn't have Nintendo games on it.
Yeah, let me tell you, man, like, thank you, Tanneros. I fucking love the Switch.
Oh, it's so good.
I mean,
it's my favorite console at the moment.
Well, yeah, I can actually see that too. Yeah, because I don't use the other ones, but yeah, it is just so fucking handy. And like right now, I'm still working my way through Mario Rabbids. I'm on the last level though, the last world, so I'll probably be done soon. Probably like 3 or 4 more good shits, and then I'll be done. But that's
you're actually further than me now. Then
that's where it's at. Like it's quick boot, right? So you basically hit a button, boop, you're in, and then boop, I'm in. I do the match, and then I can just hit home and tell it to go to sleep, and that's it. It sleeps till next time I need it.
Yep.
And it's initially I thought I was like, this is big as fuck. You know, I have my Game Boy Advance, which I thought the Game Boy Advance was too big because I had a micro before that, right? So I was like, these keep getting bigger. What are you thinking? And then, but once you use it and you know the screen makes up for it. The gigantic fucking screen.
Yeah,
totally makes up for it. I took it with me to good.
I was gonna say, like, it's big, but I haven't found it, like, the shape of it, I guess, ends up being still fairly convenient. Like, it fits into a backpack easy. So, like, 90% of the time when I need to take it somewhere with me, I'm putting it either in a bag or in a backpack, and it'll fit into those just fine. And like it passes does this fit into the back seat pocket on an airplane so that I can get up and use the bathroom in the airplane without having to be like, all right, I guess I have to carry this with me the entire time. And yeah, it fits in there just fine. And honestly, just the fact that if I buy something on the Switch, I know that, yeah, I can sit and play it sitting on my couch and have fun with it as an actual console. But then I can also just pick it up and move around with it and have the exact same experience just wandering around anywhere. Like, it's such a good console. I'm at the point now where if I have the option to buy a game on the Switch, like Stardew Valley just came out on the Switch. I hadn't played it before. Now I'm like, fuck, it's on the Switch. I guess now I'll pick it up because it being on the Switch is enough of a perk for me that I'm like, okay, it's time to make that purchase.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just for reference, the size. I have my tape measure here and the Switch. It's 9 1/4 inches in length. This is with the Joy-Cons attached to it. And 4 inches in width. So it's basically a $1.50 bill in length. And yeah, there's 4 inches, 2/3 of a dollar bill, in width. It's not actually that big.
Yeah.
And yeah, I carried it with me when we were on vacation. I was playing it in the hotel. I even brought with me the actual dock and everything, so I hook it up to the hotel TV. And it was perfect. I mean, just even the size with the dock is still really fucking small. Like,
yeah,
I'm thinking like my Xbox, right, or even my PS4, and it's like there's no fucking way I'm gonna carry that with me.
Well, and they're also like they're making a smaller dock, which is it's more like a
clip.
Well, yeah, exactly. Like you know the sort of things that like you would stick like you would sit one of your controllers on, then it would charge the controller, sort of thing. Like
okay.
It basically just instead of it's basically the same as the dock, except that it plugs into the base instead of plugging in sideways in the back. Yeah, and there's no front plate on it.
Well, because the entire dock is mostly useless anyways. It's just a convert the USB-C to HDMI.
Yeah. It's add the there's an extra port in there. I think is it a Ethernet
USB
port or USB
There's regular
port?
USBs in there. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, like they're making a smaller dock, which will be even easier to travel with. Is where I was going with that. So
nice.
If you want to bring a dock along so that you can plug it into your hotel TV or something, like it'll be less of a pain. I say as though it's a pain at all currently, which it isn't.
Yeah, the Joy-Cons actually are also kind of cool. I haven't played anything actually that had tiny little controllers like this.
Yeah.
But it's what I liked about it is while we were on our trip, obviously it doesn't work for all games. The thumbsticks are way too short to really play like a shooter or anything like that because they're just not very responsive, especially compared to the Pro Remote, which holy fuck, dude. The Pro Remote,
it's actually good.
Yeah, the thumbsticks are so fucking smooth, and the kickback that they give is very fluid. It just feels really good. The Joy-Cons not so much, but what's nice about the Joy-Cons is I could just sit there and with my hands rested at my side because we were driving, right? And I don't want to I could have my hands in my lap, or I could have my one hand up on the console and my other hand like kind of off to the side or out the window or something like that. And I could just because they fit in the palm of my hand, I can just play like that, just like that. Really, really, okay, great. Now they're gonna wake up the damn thing. But yeah, really, really handy to have.
Yeah,
and a decent selection of games coming too.
Yeah, it already has enough games that it's worth it for me. Especially when you look at some of the indie, like it's got Shovel Knight, it's got the Sonic game that came out recently, Sonic Mania. It's got obviously like Mario Kart and Splatoon and Mario Rabbids and Zelda. Like it's got a good set of games on it already. There's a new Mario game coming out pretty soon, Mario Odyssey.
Mario New York.
Yeah, Mario in New York. The actual plot to the Mario movie. It's got a Metroid game on the way, like a fully brand new Metroid game. Mm-hmm. And things like Stardew Valley keep coming out for it as well. So I'm really looking forward to. I hope that they port Darkest Dungeon to it. They'd be crazy not to.
Yeah, it is. Oh yeah, Darkest Dungeon would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually like wondering if they have the sounds already. Yeah, they have SteamWorld Dig 2. I'm playing on PC, otherwise I'd pick it up here. But I can imagine it's probably like really good on this. I'm certain. God, what was the other one that's coming out? There's another one coming out soon. They have Ironcast on here. Have you ever played the Ironcast?
No, I haven't.
It's a match 3. But the thing is, I would be hesitant to buy it, and I'm saying this for any of you guys who are Switch owners, because Ironcast is a match 3, so you would typically use your mouse or swipe across. So you would think, oh, on the Switch, obviously I would use the touchscreen. I watched a video demo of it being played, and they were using Joy-Cons, and so I was just like, okay, maybe because it's docked, so that's the obvious reason why. But I haven't found any footage showing that somebody is actually swiping across the screen. So just check on that first. But that's another thing. Actually, that brings me to another point about the Switch is actually the lack of touch screen in some games like Mario Rabbids, a game that I should totally be able to play by touch. Right?
Yeah, that's true.
Doesn't support it, and I thought that was really strange.
Yeah, I'm not sure why that is. Like, it's not the greatest touch screen. Like, the screen is actually made out of plastic. So it's not as responsive as it could be compared to, like a phone or something. But I don't know why they decided to make the screen out of plastic. I guess they wanted to make sure that I honestly have no idea why they would make the screen out of plastic instead of like Gorilla Glass or something.
Yeah. Well, I have my glass over the front of it thanks to you.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, even if, given that it's plastic, like, you're not going to shatter the screen by dropping it on something, but you could still put a gouge in it. And I picked up that, I basically, when I was in Ohio a few weeks ago for the North American WoW regionals, like, I got to my hotel room and within like 2 minutes managed to drop my giant battery pack like directly on the screen. And it just absolutely shattered that.
Oh my God.
The tempered glass screen protector. But thankfully, the screen protector did its job, and there was no damage to the screen, no like scuff or anything on it. So that was good.
Wow. Yeah.
Oh, Darkest Dungeon has tweeted that a version is coming in a video of it working on the Switch. Nice.
Oh man. That's actually one of the reasons why I never really got into that game, because I was like, why would I play a game that is so obviously designed for mobile on the computer when I could play some other game that's more exciting or whatever. Like, Darkest Dungeon is the kind of game that I would play a lot of, like sitting on the couch or something.
Yeah, it came out for the Vita a while back, and I picked it up for the Vita, but it doesn't play very well on the Vita at all. Honestly, I think the biggest part of that is just like the Vita's screen is way too small, so you can't read most of what, like, without really squinting. I was starting to get eye strain trying to play it. I don't think that the Switch would have that problem because the screen is like twice as big.
Yeah, it is actually significantly bigger.
Yeah.
Outside of Stardew Valley, Axiom Verge went up today. Axiom Verge is, if you're not familiar, it is pretty much a Metroid game.
Yeah.
You can call it a Metroidvania if you want, but you're actually kind of taking it away from what it actually is, which is
it's not very Vania.
Like, there's Vania there, but the Vania stuff was also in Metroid, and this game is very much Metroid. I played a bunch of it, and I actually stopped playing it because I was like, well, I already played the first Metroid a lot. As a matter of fact, the first Metroid is pretty much the only Metroid that I think I've really ever played a lot of. I know. I'm the worst Metroid guy. I think I played like one. I played a Metroid on Game Boy, like original Game Boy, I think, and that was pretty much.
That would have been Metroid 2.
Oh yeah, and that was it though. Like Metroid 1, Metroid 2, then, and that's pretty much all I got. But that's mainly because I didn't have a Nintendo console for. I mean, I had the Wii, but the Wii was just for an emulator, really, and Mario Kart. But no, Axiom Verge is totally a Metroid game, like down to its core. So if you're into that, check it out. It plays just the same, and it's got all the unlockable cool shit, and you'll be familiar with a lot of enemies and everything. And it's got a good soundtrack too. And Stardew Valley, which I'm definitely gonna buy probably fucking tonight. Yeah.
I was actually just thinking about it. I'm actually really, really excited for the next GDQ because of the number of games that have been released in the past like 3 weeks that are going to be amazing to watch someone speedrun. Like, God, Axiom Verge. If it's as much like Metroid as you say it is, then there's going to be cool things like sequence skips and so on that you can go and do. I really want to see someone do a Hollow Knight speedrun. I know that's been out for a little while now, but Maybe I'll just look one up online and watch one of those.
Oh yeah, there is one. It's like 30 minutes or something, like really crazy. It's like some really absurdly low number, maybe 3 hours, but still.
Yeah. You know what game I was surprised was actually a really fun speedrun to watch? It was Dust Force.
Oh, but Dust Force is such a fluid game, though.
Yeah, it just oftentimes those sorts of games you don't really expect, like when it's that fluid, you sort of expect it to be like, okay, so when you watch this speedrun, what you see is someone who just plays it really fast. And while that's really cool to see, it's like for me, what's interesting about speedruns, especially for like the Metroidvania sort of games, is like, okay, so here's how they get through this situation. Like if you watch Metroid Zero Mission speedruns and you watch how people do the acid worm skip in there, it's like, okay, this is something that you're supposed to go through this giant entire area and get this thing and fight this boss, which then unlocks these conveyors from working. And then you come back down over to this spot and you jump into this conveyor, and the conveyor takes you across this big old pit so that way you can get into the next area. But the acid worm skip, which is like the most important trick to do in any percent runs, is you like, okay, I'm just going to morph ball and morph bomb, and I'm going to drop 4 morph bombs at this spot so that they all go off at once. I'm going to slightly edge to the side of it, and then as I'm falling, there's like 2 frames where I can stand up and then grab the edge of the ledge and go up over. And that only works if I've gotten to the very, very like pixel perfect edge of the platform that I'm bouncing off of. And it's like, that is super cool to watch because they make it look super easy, but having played the game, I go, there's no fucking way that I could do that.
Yeah, actually. God, yeah. What else would they?
There's bound to be a Cuphead speedrun.
Yeah, there's already somebody that's done that recently. He did it in a good amount of time. The problem with Cuphead, I feel like, is it's not the main the run and gun levels. Sure, like that's platforming elements, and you could totally look at that and say, yeah, you could speed run those. But the bosses themselves, they gate themselves, like with with how quickly you could down them. Because once you get in, you're constantly shooting it. Like that's what's happened. That's actually you shooting it becomes your timer. I fought bosses so many times. I knew almost exactly when the phases would cut, and then because I was firing. But yeah, it's getting some news here. Cal says that Cuphead 80% run is 31 minutes 55 seconds. I don't even understand how the fuck. Obviously, they glitched something, because when you get to the end, he tells you you have to go back and defeat every boss. Because I missed a boss, and I was like, "Oh fuck it, the end's right here. I'll just go do that." So I wonder what he did to get through that, because that's an impressive fucking time. I mean, it takes that long to fight one boss sometimes.
Yeah, maybe there's always interesting things where, and the glitches tend to be what makes a lot of speedruns interesting. Like if you ever watch a Portal speedrun, like it's just glitches constantly. So like maybe there's some sort of like, oh, you can skip this boss if you pass through this screen at this exact moment, and your character isn't rendered properly. So it doesn't put your character in the spot that causes the boss to spawn. So you get to just walk past the boss and complete the level or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's stuff like that can happen. Or maybe like sometimes it's things like, okay, we figured out that while you're running at the boss, your gun shoots 3 times as fast. So if you run back and forth constantly, then you do more damage. And stuff like weird stuff like that can come up.
Yeah, totally. Makes sense. Yeah, I like watching the Mega Man ones, because it's like, here's a game that I'm like really fucking familiar with, and then seeing these guys go through and just speed their way through and do all these crazy, like there was one he like I think it was like Airman stage or something, like he did some weird shit where he like fell, and then like he just like glitch, and then like he's at the end level of the level. I'm like, what? Like,
yeah,
he like glitched the entire console, it looked like, and then that was it.
Yeah.
Level.
Yeah, a lot of the old Mega Man games have like, I'm on a ladder and I'm going to jump off the ladder and do this collection of inputs at the same time, and that shoves my character into the wall, And then the game doesn't know what to do about that, so it just sends me flying through the entire rest of the game.
Yeah, the glitches are pretty amusing.
Yeah. Or like, if you've ever seen a Super Star Wars speedrun, like that's one of the games. There's a lot of games that have this same sort of thing. Guacamelee has it as well, where the frame that makes your character standing up and thus able to jump is also the frame that starts your character falling. But because it starts your character falling, the falling doesn't actually happen until the next frame. So there's a 1 frame gap where you can jump again because your character thinks they're just standing. Because the jump has ended.
Oh,
character goes into the standing mode. And then there's a 1 frame. Yeah. So, like, if you watch a Guacamelee any percent speedrun, you'll see them skip getting the chicken form, the chicken flight form, to be able to get through certain areas that normally you need to be able to fly everywhere. But instead, it's just someone going, this is difficult. I'm going to jump at the exact right time 47 times in a row. And they'll do it. Same with the Super Star Wars speedrun.
Wow.
There's a really crazy one in Super Star Wars, where it's doing that in this giant expanse of nothingness for ages, and then you just show up at the end of the level. It's actually really fun stuff to watch.
That's pretty great. Yeah. So GDQ is coming back. Looks like January 7th through the 14th.
Yep.
Which is right around. That's right around GDC or CES.
Yep.
Actually, I'm sure they have dates for that. That's coming very quickly. Of course, it's not going to be on the front. Register now. You got to tell me the dates. There it is, January 9th through 12th. So yeah, actually, it is right during
It's like right
CES.
over top of CES. Yeah.
Man, that's going to be a really good week.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, dude. I'm jet lagged as balls. I need to sleep.
All right. So you don't want to talk about your hair?
Oh, I tied it back.
All right. Well, there it is, folks. You heard it here.
I've been doing that a lot lately.
I noticed.
It's just I'm finding it more convenient.
Oh my God. What? Really? It took how many years?
I mean, I've had long hair for like 8 years now.
Uh-huh.
I'd slightly forgotten how convenient it was to be able to wear headphones.
Right. Yeah. Or hear, or just
Or
not
hear.
have things touching your face all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I saw you during vacation, actually, I left that part out, I guess. But yeah, when I saw you then, I was floored because I've not seen you with hair that short since like I first met you, and that was because it was short, not because you had to pull it back. So yeah, I was kind of like, oh shit.
Yep.
It looks good, man.
Well, thank you.
And actually, for some reason, makes you look like swole almost. Like, I don't know what it is.
It makes me look like I have a tiny head to me.
Well,
just because I'm used to seeing myself with a head that's 3 times as large.
And maybe that's it. Because, like, I don't feel like you have a very large neck. But then again, I don't know because, like, never really see your neck. And so maybe your head getting, volume-wise smaller actually makes your neck look bigger, and then in turn makes you look like Busta Rhymes, right? You seen Busta? Like Busta is just like a brick from like the head to his chest.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like, damn, like Lola looks swole. What's going on? But it's probably not the case, right? You're not swole.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, shit.
Yeah. No, I actually have a pretty large neck. I have a 17-inch neck.
Oh, damn. I don't know this. Oh, because of the suits. I was like, wow, how do you know the size?
Yeah.
I don't think my
buying shirts is difficult sometimes.
tape measure is really going to work that way. No, it's not going to.
Jesus. Yeah, that's a painful sound to listen to.
All right, dude, get some sleep.
All right, fine.